right, welcome Aquarius. We are going to do a reading for you. Let's see what comes out. We're going to use the famous Tarot de Marseille, which is a European deck, one of the first tarot decks. Well, actually, there are many tarot decks, and there were many tarot decks back in the 15th, even the 15th century, in Italy, Spain, and France. Now, something really interesting. Do you remember the Lenormand deck? Well, there are a lot of decks that have the name Lenormand on them, but Lenormand is the last name of one of the most famous tarot readers and psychics that ever existed, and her name was Marie-Anne Lenormand. She was French, and she read for Napoleon Bonaparte all during the French Revolution. And we all know that he was one of the most successful military leaders. In military schools, his victories are studied by students. And little do those students know that he was consulting all during the French Revolution with tarot reader Marie-Anne Lenormand. Guys, I just had to interject here because now that I know what came up in the reading, if you could think of a military victory as happening in the Chariot, which certainly the Chariot is like the police, the military, and it's all about victory. These victories of Napoleon Bonaparte were due to information and reliance on the divine. Just keep that in mind, and you'll see at the end of the reading why that is so relevant. So that is a fact. Interesting, eh? Anyway, if you ever get challenged by people who don't believe in tarot, you can bring that to their doorstep. There's a lot of history that has been recorded. There are even sketches of her reading for him. He would summon her to his quarters or his office or wherever she would go to him, and that's where he would get the readings done. And she would advise him on his military strategies. All right, and three more. What do we have for fixed air for Aquarius? Two more. Let's do two more. And one more for Aquarius, please. Okay, there's a clear split here. Oh, good Lord. Wow. Two major arcana, and here you are. Wow. So we've got Death and the Fool. These are cards of Scorpio and Aquarius. Wow. Okay. You know what's really incredible about these two cards together in the Marseille deck is that the Death card and the Fool card, they're both major arcana, so you know that there's 78 cards. The first 22 cards are your major arcana, major ideas. This Death card has no name. You don't see any name on it, but it has a number 13. This is the card, the only card in the Marseille deck that has no name, but has a number. The Fool is the only card that has a name, but no number, because the Fool will not be labeled. Isn't that incredible? Anyway, let me get on to what I think I'm seeing here. Can you imagine? I just want you to look at the posture of the Fool, his legs, his arm, or her legs, her arm, whoever this is, and the legs, the arm, the posture of the skeleton in the Death card. If the Fool got an X-ray, it would probably show up like that, would it not? All right, so many of you already know in general what the Fool represents. On the Tree of Life, the Fool brings the energy of Keter, or spirit, or God, Allah, Buddha, from the unmanifest into the manifest, brings that energy to the magician, and the magician passes it along to the high priestess, and down it goes to bring things into physical manifestation. The Fool also runs pathway 22, which is back up from the manifest to the unmanifest. Notice that it makes sense that the Death card accompanies the Fool. Both of these cards may represent a birth or a death, and really both are the same. Well, I would imagine that the other realm is much more enjoyable than this one, believe it or not. And this is what I believe that we're looking at here. First of all, in this deck, there is a huge emphasis on the wisdom of the Fool being centered around the fact that the Fool focuses on the present moment. In fact, this guy is actually blind, but he knows the way forward. He has faith in his present action. He doesn't record any memories. That being is so reliant on, and so has so much faith in spirit. It's like a wild animal that doesn't have to worry about the future or the past. They live in the present moment. They operate in the present, and aligned with that beautiful, loving matrix that we could call spirit, Allah, Buddha, God, whatever. Now, the Fool is also very, very creative, open-minded, unbiased, a creative thinker. Naturally, I call the creative thoughts of Aquarius, I call them fresh ideas. I'm an Aries, not an Aquarius, but Aquarius often look at things in a really unusual way, and it's really, you guys think that it's normal and you don't know what people are chuckling about, but you're actually just looking at things with an open mind. That is why the Fool doesn't like to be numbered or labeled. The Fool is also a risk taker, even though the Fool probably does not see what the Fool is doing as taking a risk. The Fool is also free and liberated from the constraints of the 3D. What does that mean? Because the Fool is so, in this deck, is so focused on the present moment, and so aligned with spirit, aligned with the unconscious, aligned with what you cannot see with your eyes. The Fool is happy and free and liberated, and is not constrained by dread or anxiety or social pressure, especially. Now, behind the Fool here, we have the Death card. And notice how in this deck, we've got a dog that is literally chasing the Fool, trying to catch up to the Fool. What's interesting about that is in this deck, in the Marseille deck, the Death card, it's a reminder of the liberation, the freedom that one has to enjoy their life if they're not afraid of death, if they simply allow. The Death card accompanies that transformational energy. It is with us all the time. So it was with us. In fact, I get the Death card a lot for a baby being born. Now, what does that tell you? It means this is not a literal death. It represents what happens when energy is transformed, or when something is transformed. It's a very powerful energy. Notice how these things that are, there are heads here. These people obviously are dead, but they're everything that is associated with the earth. It's almost like they have there's no presence there. Yet the Death card, which is, appears to be just a skeleton, is active, just like the Fool, and has the same posture here. Now, what I was going to say about the dog is there's a saying, and I can't remember what it is, but in this deck, the death card says to those people who go around in a state of anxiety about the future and dread and regret about the past and fear of death because they think that this is all there is. The character in the death card says, if you push yourself to run faster, you will catch up to me. If you slow down, I will catch up to you. If you walk alongside me, I will dance with you, or something like that. The idea is there is sooner or later we're all going to go through a physical death. But I believe the message here is that perhaps, by the way, the death card can also be a release of anger, like an outburst of anger, but it will be very liberating here. I believe that one of the interpretations here is that you could be going through a transformation, and something that you interpreted or you looked at as an ending, and maybe you dreaded it because, the mask of the death card, it looks quite threatening with, but in fact, whatever is behind you has liberated you and made you feel free. There could be people from your past trying to catch up to you. But, or the dog, ripping the pants of the Fool there in the scratch that may represent, some collateral damage from the past. But this is a very positive split because there is a liberation here, a huge liberation. Now, it could be something else. It could be that if you are living in a state of anxiety or regret, you may want to open your mind a little about the fact that this is not all there is. The Fool is, in fact, very cognizant of that. In fact, the Fool is the only character in the entire 78 card deck that would know that. Because the Fool is the closest to God. How do we know this? Because the Fool's pathway is the first and the last, 0 and 22. The Fool is Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning. I am the end. I am what I am. So it could be that also it could be that you need to have some sort of angry outburst or an outburst of energy to be liberated. But in general, I'm seeing that some sort of transformation, some sort of ending is associated with a beautiful freedom. And also, the Fool is also associated with an incredible amount of creativity. So it may be, remember that the Fool in this deck is focused on the importance of being in the present moment. So this could be something about something that would help you to be liberated. But I feel like it's more like something that has already happened because it's behind you. That little dog may be more important than that. Could be the most important thing that we're looking at, because in all of the other decks, the dog is not chasing the Fool and ripping the Fool's pants. The dog is running alongside the Fool. Here, why is that dog ripping the pants? and desperately trying to catch up with the Fool. Maybe there's an energy here that from your past that is unable to let you go, maybe. All right, let's keep going. So obviously you could be involved with a Scorpio because the Death card is exclusively related to Scorpio. And the Fool card, now some say Aries, I don't agree. I see the Fool card. And the reason why it comes out for Aries, I think, is because Aries, especially female Aries, tend to be very extremely independent, and so they're less susceptible to social pressure. So they end up being like the Fool, and I think that's why the card comes out. Now, I know that some of you are thinking, well, the other thing about Aries is that Aries was the first. Actually, I'm not even going to talk about that because I don't want to make an association between Aries and the Fool. It's you. It's Aquarius, okay? Let's see what's going on here. I just have to read you this beautiful quote about the Death card in the Tarot de Marseille. Since you were born, I am a mother who constantly brings you into this world. So let's enjoy. Only when you grasp me will life become meaningful. The demented people who do not recognize me are clinging to what I possess without realizing it. There is nothing without my mark, the eternal impermanence. I am the secret of the sages. They know they can only move on my path. Those who cooperate with me will become powerful minds. Those who deny me, seek to flee in vain, will lose the pleasure in fleetingness. Although they exist, they do not know what to do. When being stuck in pain, they do not know how to live. You know how to live. So if there has been an ending in your past, if someone has caused you damage in the past, to me, it appears here that you're the one with the wisdom. They're the ones trying to catch up and stop you from being liberated. Anyway, kind of reminds me of that very, very short, I have to tell you a funny story. Well, it's not really a funny story, but I think when I was about 14 years old, I was really young, and I had my first sad breakup with it wasn't really a boyfriend, but it was something that was a little heartbreaking. So anyway, my older brother took me to this coffee shop, and he always had a poetry book somewhere, or he was always writing it. And he read me a very simple poem, and here was the poem. I was complaining, sobbing, and he was listening, and then he just opened his book of William Blake poems and read, I think this is correct, he who binds to himself a joy does the winged life destroy, but he who kisses the joy as it flies shall live in eternity's sunrise. By the way, according to William Blake's wife, he was really drunk when he wrote that, and he wrote it on a napkin or something, and were it not for her cleaning up and finding it and preserving it, it probably wouldn't have been published. But you get the idea. If we cling to things, it means things, especially what does Deepak Chopra call that? Attachment, object referral with his really cool accent. Clinging to objects, clinging to pain, or clinging. Object referral and attachment, it refer to, how would you describe that? A mistake, an illusion. It's kind of like this. Let's say that you had a choice between the genie in the bottle and $1 million that the genie produced on one wish. Well, if you were relying only on what you see and what you hear, you would choose the $1 million, because you'd say, why would I take that oil lamp over the $1 million, not knowing where the $1 million came from. The Fool is not afraid, because the Fool knows that all things come from no things, from nothing. So all these things really, they are created in the matrix, in the quantum field. If we did not, there is no such thing as manifestation without the unmanifest. It's impossible. You can't have one without the other. If you tried to convince a physicist that the quantum field doesn't exist, they would really probably disrespect you. Of course it exists. Can we see it? Nope. Does energy need space in the quantum field? Nope. Is time relevant? No. So very hard for us to, well, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around, but it is. So that's why people will call tarot readers crazy and psychics crazy, because they're relying only on what they see. So they want facts. They want to rely on the conscious realm. Well, those people, you'll notice, always seek opinions from other people. They want to know what the majority thinks. They're concerned with their money and status and titles. Those people, I would imagine, are not very happy. And also, probably not very, not feeling very confident, and likely in a state of fear all the time. Why? Because if they believe that all there is what we can see with our eyes, then you can understand why they would fear the destruction of these things, because they don't understand where these things came from. All right, let's keep going. There's such rich cards and meaning. Sit here all day, all week, and talk about it, but let's just see what's going on here. What is happening here, please, Spirit? Wow, holy moly. Something's happening very rapidly. I forgot to mention there's something about rapid change in this deck. Hang on, I gotta look it up. It's assisted by the Death card only in the Marseille deck. Hang on. Something is happening very rapidly. These are the Eight of Wands. It's victory. It's Mercury and Sagittarius. They're the arrows of love. It's a phenomenally good energy. Just a moment. Something's happening very rapidly here. It could be rapid change. Yeah, so I was just looking up. There's a little, I can't find the quote exactly, but I remember it goes something like this in the Marseille deck. When a change is needed or a transformation is needed, this card in this deck will bring it in a radical speed, or a very, very, there's something about speed here, because of course the Eight of Wands also represents fast moving energy. Now, there could be news of an actual death, although it's only in very, very few instances will the Death card represent an actual death. There's some kind of communication, some kind of victory associated with an ending. This could be a telephone call from a Scorpio or a Sag, by the way. There's victory here, and there's something that is hitting the mark. There's communication. It could be travel. This could be about the pathway of the Fool. So it could be about a birth, or it could be about an actual physical death. It could be about the soul passing into the unmanifest, going into the other. It could be your soul going into another realm or somebody else's. But we've got something catching up to. Let me think about this for a second. You know what this could be? This could be something as simple as a need to end communication with somebody from your past, or a need to change or transform the way something is being communicated. This has to do with straightforward communication, not passive-aggressive communication. Or I'm going to give you an example of that. Well, here's a good one. In the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, Susan Jeffers was describing how when she was visiting, I don't think she had a very kind mother, and the mother was always undermining her. And even when the mother was dying in the hospital, and Susan was in perfectly good shape, and she was doing all these, she was doting over her mother, and she was about to leave to go home. It was late in the evening, and she's exhausted, and she leaves. As she's leaving the hospital room, her mother, who is who was about to physically die, says in this weak voice, "Be careful." And so why is that? Well, she found that, actually, I can't stand it when people say that too, because be careful implies that you might be in danger, Now, I'm pretty immune to those comments. Now, it's funny because a lot of people say to me, protect your energy, Amabella, protect your energy. And I just find that to be very kind. But somebody kind of answered, whoever said that recently, people say it to me all the time. Amabella she's protected, she doesn't need to be. And thank you, whoever that was. Thank you to both of you, because you're both, we're trying to be, and I get both of your, your positions. But when you care, as you go through this transformation and shed the earthly attachments and shed your need for approval of others, you literally become immune to reacting to it. So when people say things like, "Why are you getting so upset?" They're trying to upset you, and they're basically saying that your emotions are not valid, and they're trying to make you even more upset. It's passive aggression. What it means is that if an outside observer were in the room, they would just see the passive aggressive person just saying something very calmly, but it's very cruel. Passive aggressive behavior would be, I don't know if you've ever been driving in your car and somebody is crossing the road, but it's not, and somebody who is in good enough shape to briskly cross the road, and they are deliberately, really going slowly. They are enjoying pissing you off. That's passive aggressive behavior. It looks innocent on the outside, but it packs a punch. So this could be about a need for a change in the way one communicates. Let's just keep going. It could also be an end of communication, or let's just keep going. Or that an ending is a victory. Okay, here's where we're getting complicated. Okay, so we've got Jupiter in Capricorn here. Yeah, there's a delay there. And the Eight of Wands, what completely different energies we have. Somebody could be, there's communication that may be, so this is a very fast moving energy, all right? This is not even in. It's something that hasn't manifested yet. It's thought. It's somebody driving themselves nuts, overthinking about something. Or it could be a return and exchange. These could be text messages, actually. It could be a return of a text messages that are going back and forth. Sometimes, by the way, with the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, one message is sent. People keep missing each other, and there's, because of timing or somebody's internet speed or something, the message that was sent first comes in later, and the message that was actually in time sent second comes in first. So there could be a mix-up here in timing, or a disruption in timing. Or someone could just be trying to figure out what to say. Or somebody may be trying to put words together. They may be trying to figure out how to communicate something. They may be delaying communication. This is all about delay and holding something up. And that's all about speed. So someone may be contemplating how to communicate something, thinking about communicating something, but I'm seeing it more as someone being uncertain, and considering something and not acting, not communicating. Now, you know what this could be? I mean, I don't know where this is going, if this is what this means, but you remember that I mentioned that your pathway, the Fool's pathway, is really two pathways. Pathway 0, where the Fool, think of it as a birth, and pathway 22, a death, physical death. But it's really just something going, a birth is something coming from the unmanifest into this 3D, which is a very limited, we're limited by time, and energy needs space, meaning that this rock cannot take up the same space as another rock. Energy needs a certain amount of space. That's a limit, one of the limits of the 3D here. The other is time. Now, the 2 of Pentacles here could be an exchange, something going back and forth. This is the infinity sign if we turn it this way. And the 8 of Wands, it is, it's successful, victorious, fast-moving energy. May just be a comment that the Fool and the Death card really work in combination with each other. Okay, let's look at other things that this could be just quickly. Yeah, and I say that because anything in the 2s, especially the 2 of Pentacles, so in this card, somebody could be thinking. They're trying to manage something, but it's not going anywhere. And in fact, what's happening is they're about to topple over because they need to some matter has yet to descend here. So in other words, into Hakma. So the 2s of anything represent things that are not in this, that have not actually happened. In the 2 of Wands, someone is in the process of making a decision. Here, someone could be overthinking. Someone's juggling, basically. They could be very indecisive. This could be somebody who can't make up their mind. It could be somebody who's feeling really uneasy. So it could be somebody who can't make up their mind about communication or feels uneasy about communication, or they don't know what to say, or they're trying to figure out what to say. But this is very fast-moving energy. So what this could be, I mean, this is in the creative process. Everything in the 2s, is going to eventually come into creation. It could be that that an ending, which liberates you, this could be something that you're writing, or music that you're writing, a musical score or a book that you're writing. It has something to do with communication and victory. And I'm saying that because I forgot to mention that in this deck, in the Tarot de Marseille, the Fool is often is often a musician. Anyway, let's just see if we can get some more. All right, show us more, please. Show us what's happening here, please. What's happening? Something's coming from the subconscious here. I do believe that there's something being creative, and I believe that what you're doing is you're tapping into something that you were truly meant to do. Now, it could also be that someone has fear. Someone may, I see that this has to do with evolution here. This may well have to do with a creative project. But notice, this is pure subconscious. So it's not in the physical realm. I feel that you are, this could be your intuition telling you that the time is now, because the timing of the 8 of Wands is now. It is in terms of timing, there's no waiting. It's very fast moving energy. You may know that it's time. Okay, there's 3 coming up here. Wow. Okay, here we go. Boom. Boom. Someone is in a state of extreme anxiety here. And so this is definitely not you. This would be the past energy that you walked away from, I think, or that you freed yourself from. I mean, maybe this is you in the past. I don't know. I'll just read what I'm seeing. There is the Nine of Swords, which is Mars in Gemini. This is someone who cannot sleep. The mental anxiety here is extreme. They're so tortured that their hair is turning gray. They're aging very, very quickly. And they cannot sleep. Over here, we have the Four of Cups and somebody who is very disillusioned. You really can't tell in this card, but in fact, all those cups look the same, which could be why this person didn't take the right cup. But anyway, somebody has a lot of anxiety here, especially with the moon. There's something that there's some kind of message from the subconscious here that is trying its best. See the face on this moon. This could be, I feel like that person is concentrating, and it may just be could be the high priestess, or it could be spirit, something in the subconscious realm. This person, well, if they don't sleep, they're not going to be able to have this download. Somebody has anxiety here. What's driving them crazy is that they didn't trust their intuition. I think this person missed out on a major opportunity. They've got a huge amount of anxiety here. Somebody is in deep regret here about something that they did not, an opportunity that they either refused or didn't take. And it may simply be somebody maybe regretting not trusting their intuition. Whoa. Okay. Wow. I believe that what we're seeing here, and this is definitely, you're not in this at all. What's really key here is this person who can't sleep. This is the Nine of Swords again. Somebody who is up. They cannot sleep. Their mind, it's mental torture. They could be regretting something, but they're worrying so much. They're aging very quickly. So this person could be worried. They may be fearing death. The moon is often fear. So this person's hair is going gray. They can't sleep. They're in a state of regret and anxiety. They live in the past and the future, not the present. And it could be because of fear of an ending or transformation. Now, somebody may actually be worried that somebody else is going to die. Somebody may be very stressed. There could be a message. If someone has, although we haven't seen judgment, if the judgment card comes up with all these cards that we've just seen, there is something about a message from someone who is in another realm. Okay, they're not in this physical existence. So in other words, it could be, an ancestor or a mother or a father, a grandfather, a grandmother, a great grandmother, somebody who has, or it could be a child, somebody's passed on. Okay, could be trying to communicate something. The message is not arriving, and it's because somebody can't sleep. Anyway, again, we could just very simply be looking at a very necessary change that someone needs, and it could be a change in the way that they think or what they think about, or somebody needs to stop thinking negatively or overthinking. The Two of Pentacles is often about overthinking. So just put simply here with this fear of death thing. So you don't have to accept what I'm about to say, but one thing that kind of bugs me about all of these videos on YouTube about NDEs is that I really don't think, and I have a reason for saying this, that what you experience after we transition from this is not all hazy and airy fairy. It's actually kind of cool, like a huge group of people doing yoga on a gorgeous beach at sunset. It actually feels, you can feel. Now, look, I could be wrong. You don't have to accept it, but let me just propose that to you. If you knew, imagine if you knew that this, when the door is open and we find out how crappy this existence was compared to what we're about to go into, wouldn't you be relieved? You wouldn't be fearing death anymore. Well, I am suggesting that you look at it that way. Okay? Now, so again, the reason why this person cannot sleep is they're in two states, regret and remorse, and it's all, notice the swords, it's all mental thought. So what's going through their head is a whole lot of dialogue that is really empty. It's worry, it's somebody is literally allowing a war to go on inside their head. It's all negative thought. They need to sit down. This massive change needs to be made. Somebody needs to sit down and make a list, like I suggest all the time, and I got this from the Susan Jeffers book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Make a list of everything that you have anxiety about. And actually, I suggest that you download the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and just follow what she says, because it's a little more, I don't want to try to summarize it, but you will not believe the weight that will be lifted off you just from absorbing the information in that book. It's not complicated at all. It's so freeing. And you know what this person in the Nine of Swords needs to do? Only one thing. Change their thought. That's all. So this could be this necessary change. I'll just show you what this card looks like in the traditional deck. So first of all, the Two of Pentacles that we were talking about a moment ago, about the person who is, uncertain or off balance, there's that card. And you know that this person can't keep this up for much longer. And let me show you the agony that this person is going through. That's the agony that they're going. Their hair is going gray. You see that? And it's all swords above their head. So this is, so what's the key? What does this person need to do? One thing. Take the message of the red roses on the blanket. What does that lead us to? Only one change. Change in what's going through their head. It leads us to the Magician card and the red roses. The Magician, they say, I don't know, you guys can let me know if any of you are into horticulture, but my understanding is that roses are kind of difficult to grow. So, I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but the Magician does it easily. How? Does the Magician put any work into it? Nope. Does he use any pentacles? Nope. Does he do any physical work? No. How does the Magician manifest the red roses? Through the power of thought, the mind. But remember that thoughts are powerful. I'm always referring everyone to that 2021 study that was done by the 9 physicists to prove the power, the energy of thought. That was what the article was called. It has a physical, what goes on in your head has an impact on what physically manifests. That's why I always nag you guys, you really cannot afford the luxury of one negative thought. Now, I don't, it takes a lot of discipline to not think negatively, but anyway, the Magician is channeling energy from the unmanifest into the manifest. That wand goes both ways. The two tips are the same. And so the Fool, so is the Fool. The Fool brings, this is card number 1. The Fool is 0. The Fool brings the energy of God down to the Hakma. And the Two of Pentacles is on the Hakma level. Somebody can manifest something. If this is you, you can do it. Okay, let's just keep going. Maybe you're very worried about a change or an ending or whether or not you can do this. Yes, you can. And maybe your only challenge, something's stuck here with the Knight. The reason why something can't move, the reason why something is stuck and moving so slowly is because of negative thought. Somebody is determined to, somebody has literally committed themselves to thinking negatively, or this could have been somebody could be, it could feel obligated or something. Maybe this is a past person, but it's a very stubborn, slow moving energy. Somebody may be worried about a promise that they made or a commitment that they made or an obligation. Somebody may be very worried that something is moving too slowly, something hasn't come in. What's going on here, please? Why is that person in the 9 of Swords, please? Why is that person in the 9 of Swords? Oh, because of you, because of the 9 of Pentacles. Well, no. You know what this could be? Look at all the pentacles, all the physical things, the money, the pentacles. Somebody could just be worried. First of all, you may be worried about being able to stand on your own. Not only will you be able to stand on your own, you'll be able to support yourself, pay your rent or your mortgage or whatever it is. You won't need a roommate. Now, the other thing that this could be is somebody who is worried about whether or not they can support you or whether they're good enough for this 9 of Pentacles lady. There's some kind of what is this dragging energy here? It could be a very materialistic woman. This often is. What are we seeing here? What is that person worried about? Let's ask it again. They could be worried about money, stuck, worried about, monetary things. Okay, we got 3. Oh, okay, it's suddenly becoming clear. Ooh. No, it is becoming clear. Somebody is very, very stressed. They're worried that they're going to miss out on an opportunity. They feel like you're out of their league, okay? There may be a massive change. This person, so maybe they refused to change something. Maybe they refused to end a marriage and become single. They refused to. Somebody missed out big time here. Somebody missed out in a huge way. This card is bothering me a little bit right now. Because somebody is worried. Somebody is very worried. It's like they ignored something. Somebody may not have noticed something. Like somebody may have ended an opportunity for you. What did I just say? There's judgment right there. Okay, there's a message for you, Aquarius, here from someone who's passed on. So, somebody who's passed on is quite angry about something here. And not with you. It's something that... Wow. Okay, so we have the Fool, the Death card, Judgment, the Moon. What is this message for Aquarius, please? Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Okay, we've got 2 of Pentacles again and the 4 of Cups. You may be waiting or wondering why, trying to figure out. This person may you may not be able to move on from someone. All right, just a minute now. Just a minute. I gotta get this right. No, I know what this is. Somebody, you are ignoring something here. You're not seeing something here. Somebody is trying to figure out how to get you to notice something. It's something from the divine. It could be a message or an offer. Yep, because here in the Seven of Cups, it is not you. It's not physical. It's somebody is trying to figure out how to get you to see something. Sorry, I don't know how we got cut off. Maybe the device is overheating again. Somebody is trying to figure out how to get you to see something, how to communicate with you. Let me just show you what this looks like. But the thing is, maybe you're not understanding what you're seeing. Maybe you think you're hearing things. You're not. There's somebody is trying to communicate with you. So you may be thinking that you're hearing things, or maybe you think you saw something and you're dismissing it. You may be trying to figure out there may be something that's lost. You may be trying to figure out where something went or where something came from. This person is in a state of confusion. This person needs to make a choice. This could be causing delay. There's a warning here from the person who's passed on that something is not what it looks to be. Something is not as it appears. Just a moment. So you may have been in a state of confusion. You may be delayed or unable to move forward. This may be overwhelming. Some kind of confusion or choice, or something that somebody's being confronted with. It could be emotions. There could be a delay. Something could be held up because somebody can't make a choice. So, the message of the Seven of Cups is not to be distracted by glitter. Here, if we choose it's like, don't judge a book by its cover, right? I remember when I was little, I might have been like 4 or 5 years old. I didn't want to eat an apple that had a little bruise on it, when you bruise the apple. And then my mother, who was really creative, came up with this very sad story about the little apple that wasn't, nobody ate it because it looked, bad on the outside, and the apple was so sad. By the time she got through the story, I had devoured the entire apple. But something, it's like you're looking at something, how something appears from the outside, and you want to know what it's really like. So maybe you are looking for a future. You want to know before you make a choice. You want to know what's the risk, how's it going to turn out. This could be one of the messages here. Now, look, so I get that question a lot with personal readings. Oh my God, I get if this, then that, these totally conditional questions, which Spirit will just not answer. Because why? Because I'm just going to be straightforward. It imports a state of fear. This person is fearful of making the wrong choice. Now, what Susan Jeffers says in her book? She says it's okay, do your homework. You can do a certain amount of research or whatever. But then don't get stuck at a choice point weighing pros and cons. Path A and path B. Just decide decide on a path and make it the correct one. Here, now the other thing that this could be is somebody that has you stuck in a state of confusion. What does the passed on energy? What do you have for your Aquarius? Person who's passed on. Wow. Oh my goodness, guys. This is really cool. Wow. Okay. So, the message is here. So these are completely opposite energies here. Somebody is stuck, okay? Somebody is literally frozen here. Now, one of the messages that this can be is this person, the Fool, this is an uncomfortable feeling, being confused and not knowing. Is that the Eight of Swords? It's even worse. This is a state of confusion. It's somebody doesn't know what to do. They could be in a panic here. Okay, why? Because they want to know what the outcome is going to be. They're focused on the future. They don't know. They don't know which choice to make. They're pretty much, and they could be being deceived, or there could be an illusion here. All right, so that's not a comfortable state. What this person, the advice here from the person that has passed on, is to get very, very, very still. And when you're still and you start counting your blessings, or you clear your mind of all that negative thought, look at something from a completely different perspective. By the way, this could be as simple as the person who's passed on maybe telling you that something is hung up in a closet, by the way. But anyway, you need the loved one that's passed on is either saying, I now realize, that I should have done this, or I now realize I'm sorry. It's something that they've realized, or they're telling you to get very still, meditate because there is a clicking with the divine here. There could be a download, a message that you will receive from the divine. In fact, when this person learns to appreciate the present moment, even though it doesn't look comfortable, this overwhelming, freeing, peaceful energy comes over them. You wouldn't say that person was actually in a state of a perfect, clicking with the divine. They are. So now, the other thing is that the person that's passed on may want you to trust your intuition. There's something that could be about to be exposed to you. There may be something that they want you to realize. It could be, if this is somebody who commits suicide, it could be about their own, the manner of death. Okay. So here, somebody is being held back here. There's communication here. Somebody could be exercising control. Somebody could be holding you back, or holding back from revealing or exposing something. Somebody, if this is, I'm sorry, show me what you're trying to say to Aquarius, please. Show me, please. There's 3 cards actually coming out here. Okay, I think I'm going to clarify this so there's somebody who missed out. Somebody was being very stubborn here, okay? They might have been pushing down feelings, or they may have been saying, it's my way. They may have been very defensive, okay? Somebody may have had to defend themselves. Somebody could have been under attack here. Over here is, somebody feeling disappointed in the way that things went. Left ear is ringing all of a sudden. Somebody may have held them back from communicating with you. Show me what do you want Aquarius to know about Aquarius? What do you want Aquarius to know? There's 3 coming up here. 7 of Wands again. 7 of Cups. Oh, 3 of Swords. Should have made the question more specific. I feel like this is some information about, so you may have been confused here, or you may have felt that you couldn't figure out what was going on here. You may have been confused about your opinion being attacked or having to defend yourself. There's some very deep betrayal here. So either this person is very sorry about their actions toward you. Maybe they didn't understand you and you had to defend yourself, or they were attacking your opinion because they were judging you, possibly. Or this could be about something that they are seeing is going on around you presently, and you may not know about this. What do you want Aquarius to know about the present moment, about what is presently going on around Aquarius? Do you want to know, Aquarius? Okay, there's 3 coming out. Okay, I think this is about something. Whoa. Okay, hang on. Okay, this could be something very simple. Here, you may be expecting something or bracing yourself for something or wondering why something hasn't come in yet in the 3 of Wands. Because in the 3 of Wands, it actually has physically manifested this. It's right around the corner. It's coming in, something really good. But this person can't see it yet because it's actually behind a cliff. It's being visually blocked, but it's coming in very soon. In fact, the 3 of Wands has a timing element of 3 days. Over here, somebody could be confused as to where something is. Why hasn't this come in? And you could be feeling very disappointed. So the message here could be in 3 days. Okay? Now, the other thing that this could be is, no, that's it. You're waiting for something here. It could be communication. It could be good news. You're waiting. It's coming in. There is victory coming in. There are results coming in. All right. Wow. There's a what did I just say? This card is all about victory. There is a victory coming in at a rapid speed, guys. Wow. Wow. What your loved one wants you to know is that they are just fine and that we were right about all this. In the Tarot de Marseille, let me just read you a quote for the meaning of the Chariot in the Marseille deck. When the Chariot, le Chariot Tarot speaks up, here's the quote. I am extremely energetic. Nothing is wasted. I stick to the planet and be the lover of all the energy sources from it. They motivate my movement. But as an enthusiastic knight, I did not leave my position. I do not crawl on the ground. I looked from above. I travel with time and never leave the present. There is no past, no future. The only time that exists is present, like a gem that cannot be measured. Everything here is available in nowhere. I kid you not, that's the quote for the meaning of this card in this deck. So I believe there is a very strong message. Don't be afraid of death, because everything here, it exists in nowhere. In other words, it's like a blueprint. It's like the energy of thought. It's like a composer who has composed something in their mind, but they haven't reduced it to a musical score. It exists nowhere. It exists in the energy of thought. I am the source of all the warriors, all the champions, all the heroes, with all the perseverance and with all the courage. By the way, you can see this is the real meaning on the Tree of Life. This is at Sephiro 7, which is Netza, and it is the will to overcome, the will, to heal, to get better, the will, I will, if I decide I will. Okay? I am the source of all the warriors, all the champions, all the heroes, with all perseverance and with all courage. Nothing frightens me, no matter what task. Now that's like the Fool. I left to fight and feed every citizen on earth. I am the center of the universe. Is revolved by all the energies of mind and matter. If being an arrow, just like the Eight of Arrows, or the Eight of Wands, if being an arrow, I penetrate my heart, and this deep wound, this awareness transforms me. For those who are awakened, in other words, for those who are not fearing death and realize that this is just one iota of what exists, for those who are awakened, pain becomes a blessing. I dissolve the pain hidden deep in my bones. I harmonize with and unite the state of alertness and coma. I cross the dark night of doubt with my own, through my own abyss. I disassociate the tangle of mysteries. I go beyond the pain of the creature. I despise the appearance. And you do too. You guys don't judge people by how they look. I release the emotions from reason. Sounds a lot like you guys. I destroy everything against me. I am myself. I want to live as long as the universe. And it goes on and on. So it is the power. I know now why judgment showed up, and I should have stopped. It's kind of like the genie in the bottle thing. The judgment card. In the judgment card, Archangel Gabriel is blowing the horn of the esoteric and raising people, dead people, from their coffins. And the point is, why would imagine somebody who fears death, and so they've got billions of dollars in the bank, but because they can't connect to this, this will, this netza, this immortal energy, the unmanifest, they fear. They're in this state of agony, and they probably won't be able to tap in to this victorious energy, and they may not be able to connect with that healing energy. Now, if someone else were praying for them, that would work. They would have to, they would have to have the person doing the praying has to have unconditional love. But you guys know, in fact, there was somebody on the live chat last night who, it was a man. And as soon as I started pulling cards for him, he asked about a grandson, I believe. And I could see that everyone around him was all worried. And I could also see that an Ace of Cups energy coming from the man that I was reading. And I could see the Ace of Pentacles and the Sun, the healing energy, the outcome. And then I saw the experts or whatever doctor gave a negative diagnosis or put doubt, them just dismissing the miracle, So look, there is so much freedom and power in this transformation. So I feel like this is just, first of all, if you were wondering how the loved one is, they're fine. They want you to know. Call upon me. Connect with this. There is nothing to be afraid of. You can win. There's a victory coming in. If you're afraid of a change or afraid of that you won't be able to heal, you will get this victory. You will be victorious. Connect with your loved one who's passed on. Connect with them. Just, if you don't know how to do this, just get down on your hands and knees and say a prayer, before you go to bed. You don't have to, do anything decadent. In fact, the less, effort you put into it, sometimes the easier things are to do. Let's just get one more split. I just think this is an absolutely, the major arcana that came out, there's only 22 major arcana in the entire, wow. Not only, so you're coming out in the Nine of Pentacles here. You're going to be able to, you're going to have money. You're going to manifest. You may be able to work from home. You are coming up as what Marie-Anne Lenormand called the privileged lady. Now, that privileged lady, the essence of her privilege comes from her soul. She didn't inherit this money. She might have, but this person in this deck worked for that. They made that, and what they made is more than enough to support themselves. And home is where they are. And everyone wants to be around this person because they feel good. And it's often a card of someone being able to work from home and being really happy and comfortable and very financially successful. All right? So there is a huge financial success coming in for you. I feel like you're being encouraged to just change the way you think. Try to consider some of the stuff that I mentioned here. Okay, maybe we'll get 1 or 2 messages from this person, okay? So I'm just grabbing a part of the message deck. We'll just get one split. What is this person who's passed away? I always say that and then I get a ton of them. Yeah, they were in... So they're seeing a repetitive cycle. I can't imagine you being with anyone else, but I also want you to be happy. Show me more. I can't imagine you with anyone else. I realized how I treated you, and for that, I'm sorry. This could be someone that you were romantically involved with, or it could be a parent. I can't imagine you being with anyone else, but I also want you to be happy. Maybe this person held you back from your twin flame or something. I can't help but feel nostalgic. Wow. Thinking about our good times together, I realized how I treated you, and for that, I'm sorry. Maybe that's an apology that you really needed to hear, to be able to now be free to move on. All right. This person actually has very loving feelings toward you, and I feel like they didn't act like that when they were here. Okay, and they're very regretful that they didn't. This person may have been violent or very, very stubborn, and they're pushing you away, pushing down feelings. But at the same time, this is 6 of Cups energy. They were in love with you. Can you imagine that? They miss you, and they have beautiful feelings about the past, and they are very sorry, and they now realize how they treated you. Maybe they didn't when they were in the 3D. All right, Aquarius, thanks for listening. Sorry that I was talking so much. Thanks for watching.